Who had the worst childhood, Mark or Gohan? Okay, well, not really childhood, but who has had the toughest upbringing? Both of these kids have had to live in superhero worlds as such inexperienced boys that it has definitely been a nuisance to them at times, but at the end of the day, it molded them into the man that they are now. But we're not talking about that. We are talking about who had the worst childhood. Now, since Gohan has more evidence, since he has more episodes in the series, we're going to start off with him because Mark, I think he only needs two events that really showcase how horrible his life is, but we'll get to that later. Number one for Gohan, watching both of his father figures dying back to back. Okay, this is a tough one. I can't say from experience, thankfully not, but I can't imagine how difficult that must be watching your father hold his brother in a shoulder lock, sacrificing himself with him to save the world. Not to mention, this second father figure that we're talking about made Gohan live in a forest for like a month by himself. And then finally, when Gohan finally warms up to Piccolo, Piccolo actually sees him as a son. Piccolo fucking sacrifices himself to save Gohan right in front of him. Yeah, I have no words. That must be the most tragic thing ever. And they still had that man on the front lines right after that. Like, give this man a break. Okay, now for the first exhibit for Mark, aka Invincible, aka Very Vincible. So I wanted to limit it down to two events for each person. And even though this is recent, I feel like this was probably the second worst moment of Mark's life, when Conquest showed up and just started terrorizing the entire Earth. Not to mention this is like directly after the Invincible War, and now everyone sees Mark as this murderous being, even though he did literally nothing wrong. But anyway, so Conquest literally shows up at the worst time possible and just starts throwing hands with Mark, completely pulverizing him within the first couple minutes. And Mark being the only person on the planet Earth that could deal with this man, he kind of has a lot on his shoulders. Skip forward in the fight a little bit, and then we get this interesting scene. Yeah, I probably won't even get to show it because you'll have to blur everything out, but basically Conquest holding Mark's face up and flying 90 miles an hour through a beach and through the streets of this city. Like, dude, that's gotta be so traumatizing. And it's not even like the first time that this has happened. We'll get to that later, but dude. And not to mention later in the fight, he watches his girlfriend Eve literally get mutilated. Dude. Okay, that is really bad. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, on to exhibit. I don't even know why I keep saying exhibit. Example number 2 for Gohan and the final example. I was originally gonna do when his father literally gave his mortal enemy Cell a senzu bean, so it would be a fair fight. But no, that isn't traumatizing enough. And no, we're not gonna talk about Gohan in Namek. But I'll pull up a picture because it's really funny. But the time I am talking about for Gohan is having to watch Videl just get murdered and not being able to do a thing about it. I generally don't understand why they did this. Like, they could have just stepped in. Like, they didn't need for that fight to go on as long as it did. Like, I don't remember exactly why he didn't, but maybe they wanted her to have a fair fight. But dude, you could see within the first couple of seconds that it was not a fair fight. And now you have Gohan on the sideline tweaking the fuck out, going Super Saiyan, acting like he's gonna do something, but then he shows up at the final moment, right as she's basically on her last straw. Like, imagine being him and having to watch that. I feel so bad. No wonder bro pursued an academic career after this. Okay, now for the final example, we have Mark Very Vincible Grayson, and I think we all know what this is gonna be. You know when you have like that friend that you had a lot of faith in, and they just kind of betray you out of nowhere, and you really don't see this coming, and you feel very hurt because you put a lot of trust into this person, and they just betrayed you in a blink of an eye. Yeah, imagine that person was living with you for 17 years of your life and was your father. Yeah, not even mentioning the amount of gore that Omni-Man displayed in this episode. It's just the fact that it was just his father doing it to him. Like, Conquest was one thing. It's like big evil Viltrumite, but dude, that's Mark's father. That's like, you never seen Goku doing something like that. But yeah, let me know who you think has had essentially the worst life out of these two. They've both had it pretty bad. Me personally, oh, this is hard. Me personally, if I had to pick one out of these two, I would say Mark. Yeah, I would say Mark. Because at the end of the day, Gohan can fall back on Goku and Vegeta and all of the Z fighters. I mean, Mark is the only guy. I mean, at least now, like right now in the show, he's the only guy that can hang with these Viltrumites. So yeah, my answer is Mark. Let me know if I picked wrong, and let me know if Gohan had a worse life.